Hello, dear students. I'm very happy to see you once again in our educational program. I hope you have the same feelings. If you did not remember me after the previous educational modules, I am Gurel Jitea and I'm coming from Cluj-Napoca, Romania. Module number 5, it's about how to recognize the role of innovation transfer and dissemination. This will be in the first presentation. The second learning goal is to get acquainted with the cross visits and demo events activities as part of the dissemination activities of a project. And finally, to become aware of the innovation examples from different online repositories. This module number 5 is coming after several modules in which you should, until now, know how to conduct a baseline analysis for the peripheral rural areas in order to identify their needs and gaps. Secondly, you learn in module number 3 and module number 4 about how to create the basis for the innovation process and how to implement innovations at the local level. In a way, this module number 5 is a logic step forward, because now you will learn how to engage local actors to use the sustainable development solutions identified so far. This is only possible, as you will see, when you will create a solid communication and dissemination plan, and also very important, very interesting activities. Module number 5 is divided in 3 presentations. In the first one, you will learn the theoretical background around communication and dissemination activities. So, what and why is important to learn about this stuff? Communication and dissemination are key elements in all public funded projects. Here we discuss mainly about research projects, but the same is true for other types of projects, like, for example, investment projects, funding from rural development funds in a farm or in a rural community. The idea behind communication and dissemination is that such projects use taxpayers' money, and those both end users and the general public should be at least informed by their main results. The first group of stakeholders targeted by the communication and dissemination activities are the end users. They are the ones that should put in practice the main project results. There are different types of end users, like, for instance, farmers, industry, advisors, NGOs, researchers, policymakers, and so on. They are also defined under the broad term of agricultural knowledge and innovation system. As you can see, there is a broad range of possible project results. Some of them also have property rights, like software, prototypes, data, and so on. But others, like educational material, policy recommendations, research roadmaps, can be used without property rights. The second type of target stakeholders in the communication and dissemination campaigns is represented by the general public. The general public should be informed by the effects of the results, because results should improve their life. It is important to remember that communication and dissemination campaigns should have a relevant impact, both for end users and the society. Then, communication activities mainly target the general public. This information should be understood by non-specialists. The main message delivered to non-specialists focus on how results contribute to improve in everyday life or how they can solve important societal challenges. For instance, did you know that sustainable pasture grazing can lower the CO2 emission from agriculture and has decreasing climate change effects? Or that grazing can prevent summer fires in your preferred summer holiday destination in the Mediterranean region? Or that HMV activities sustain animal welfare and human health? Such pertinent messages should use effective communication means to reach a critical mass of consumers, like social media campaigns, debate, the use of influencers, and so on. On the long run, the aim is to change the consumer's mindset that at the end can improve their willingness to pay for the sustainable products, transforming them in policymakers' drivers. Find more about what is and how you can build a strong communication plan by watching the video recommended in our online repository. Now about dissemination. Dissemination activities mainly focus on results that should reach a critical mass of end users. Moreover, dissemination activities should enable end users to uptake on large scale the main project results. In the last year, end users are involved from the beginning of the project in the process of co-creating the results, such as to directly respond to their needs. Dissemination activities should use channels that are used by the end users and in which they trust. The most effective are peer-to-peer learning, on-farm demonstration, or the use of advisors or other innovation catalysts. As you must remember, that information should be presented in a language easy to be understood by end users. So, no scientific approach to be efficient. Find more about the differences between dissemination and communication by watching the videos suggested in our online repository. Finally, transfer is the ultimate goal in a project. It means that a project result is applied by the end users. To do so, end users should see the problem and advantages in applying a specific solution. Moreover, the transfer process should consider the conditions in which end user operates that can be different as compared with the ones in which the project results were obtained. Sometimes transfer means to change the end user mindset. Often end users need training, advice, or new knowledges. Such measures are seen very important in the transfer process. Find more about what means knowledge transfer in the videos suggested in our online repository. In the first part about dissemination and communication activities, you learn about the theory behind the strong communication and dissemination activities. In the next part of this module, you will learn about how to organize cross visits and demo events. Currently, they are recognized as being the most efficient dissemination activities, supporting the transfer of the innovation to the end users. If you have additional questions, do not hesitate to write me on email. See you in the next part of the module.